Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So we're here at Dr. Wigoda's office. We're going to talk a little bit about your experience that you've had over the past few months. You had some surgery a few months ago at another facility. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you had done, how you chose them, and we'll start with that.
Okay, well, I had a breast augmentation, and I also was interested in smart lipo. I chose Strax Rejuvenation because they were the cheapest. They were about half the cost as to all the other doctors that I went to see. In addition, they basically promised me the world. They promised me I was going to look great. They were going to be able to make me look how I wanted to look in my head. And that's the reason why I did go with them.
And so what was your initial visit like with them?
The initial visit was okay. I actually went back about 3 times after that because I was not satisfied in my heart. They just said, yeah, we'll do it, we'll do whatever you want, and it was just completely different from the other doctors that I saw that told me the truth at the end.
And did you feel any pressure to sign up for surgery while you were there?
I did feel pressure when I went to the other visits after the initial one. The doctor was basically annoyed that I kept coming back. It was just like, are you going to do it or you're not going to do it? Do you want to look beautiful or do you not? So at the end I was just like, you know what, let me sign up, and I signed up the day after my last visit.
Okay, so the day you signed up, they had you sign quite a bit of paperwork. Is that correct?
Yes.
How many pages do you think you ended up signing?
Wow, it was like a book. It was a book. I can't even estimate the amount of pages.
And did they go over each page with you, what you were signing?
No, they went over only the parts that were highlighted in yellow where they wanted me to initial by. It was the same lady that did my blood work that gave me the papers to sign. She told me just to sign them. It was basically the main things I need to worry about was the before instructions and the after instructions after the surgery.
So they didn't go into any detail with you over what exactly you were signing?
Not at all.
Okay, so you signed up for the surgery, and tell me a little bit about maybe what they told you to expect with the surgery, and then how did it actually go the day of the surgery?
Well, they told me that I would be out of work for maybe a week or 2, and that's why I planned the surgery the way I did. I took all my vacation time at the end of December, and I was supposed to return to work January 4th and for the new year, and they said that was more than enough time. After the surgery, I was not able to return to work. I was in excruciating amount of pain. It was nothing how they promised that everything was going to be seamless and easy, and I would just come to see them once a week so they'll make sure everything's okay. None of that happened.
How was it actually the day of the surgery? Did it go as they had described to you?
No, the day I was told that the surgery would be about 3 hours in total for the breast augmentation with the breast lift and the liposuction of my side rolls and my back fat. From the time that I went into surgery, I know the surgery was a lot longer than what they promised. I did not leave there until about 8 o'clock at night. We were the last people there when I was one of the first ones there in the morning. It was just horrendous. The day of the surgery I cannot describe the amount of pain that I was in, and it's just vivid memories of how I could not keep anything down. I was throwing up constantly, and I just couldn't move.
And so when you went home, did you feel like you were ready to go home, or did you feel like you needed to be there longer?
Not at all. Not at all. Even my mother asked, why is she not going to a hospital? They said that there's no need. They showed my parents how to prop me up on the pillows, and they just said that there was no need for it. My mother didn't think that I was ready to go home, but they said that I was, so that's what happened.
And how was your first night at home?
I don't even want to go back and go back in my memory to that night. It was horrible. I couldn't get up to use the bathroom. I could not move. I cried all night. I did not sleep. The pain pills were not working at all. My mother had to run in the middle of the night and get a bedpan for me to use the bathroom. I I really felt paralyzed.
And so, when was the next day that you went back to?
The very next day, the very next morning, I went back to Strax for a follow-up. It took forever to even get me in the car, much less to walk to their elevator since I couldn't climb the stairs. We went to Strax. Now we didn't go to the friendly, happy place where they did the consultations. We went to a different section where all the post-op patients and the ones that had surgery are going for their weekly checkups. And when I went in there, I was just given a ton of different information. One girl told me I needed to stand up. I need to try to straighten out my back. Another girl told me, no, I don't need to irritate the stitches. I need to make sure I bend my back. One told me to sit down. One told me to lean against the wall. There were 4 people in the room, all giving me different advice. And all I kept remembering was the pain and the constant throwing up when I was there too.
And did the doctor see you? And if so, what did he say or do?
No, a doctor came in. I'm not sure who he was or why he came to see me because he wasn't my doctor. But when he did come in, he checked everything, checked my breast, and said I was okay. And I was screaming in pain, and he said that's because of the pain medicine, and they need to get me off the pain medicine. Not sure if he looked and just saw that I just had surgery not even a full 24 hours ago, but that was his recommendation, and I was screaming and told them that I wanted my doctor, who they said was in surgery. After I got my clothes back on and I was walking out the door, my doctor walked in the door. He did not treat me, but he looked at me and he looked at my breast, and his exact words, which I will never forget, was, I did a damn good job. Between all the visits, from seeing different doctors, from seeing a PA, they all gave me different treatments. One told me to do a wet dry treatment, one told me not to get my breast wet, one told me to change the gauzes this many times to debride the breast. Everything was different. Every week I went in, I'm not sure if they saw that I was getting worse, but they kept telling me different treatments. And it wasn't until I smelled a horrible smell. They just kept telling me it's dry blood, it's dry blood. I did not believe them at all. Then I saw my skin coming off on the gauze one day, and I demanded for Dr. Neese, and that was the time that I saw him. And he basically said, he walked in, asked me what happened. My mother said, I don't know, you tell us what happened. And he said, well, I haven't seen her. And we said, that's the point. You have not seen your patient. So he changed me to Telfa, which is a different treatment. And then also said the only options at this moment is to do a skin graft, which is to cut portions of my skin, or to take the implants out, wait 6 months, and put them back in. He said it like he was opening and closing a door, and that was the last time I ever went back.
And while you were there, did you see any other patients that were having any issues or complaining about anything else?
No, actually, we weren't even able to, because they took me right away. Every time I went in, they locked me in a room. We waited a long time in the room, but they never let you wait out there with other patients. So
you finally decided to get a second opinion. How did you go about finding another doctor?
It was a Saturday morning, and I was laying in bed in incredible amount of pain, and my mother just said she cannot take this anymore, and I'm either going to go to the hospital, and at this point I was just deathly afraid of anything where doctors were related, and or she needs to call her boss, because my mother works at a hospital as well. She needs to call her boss to come take a look at me. So she called her boss. Her boss came, said it does not look good at all, and that she recommends that I go to the hospital. And then at that same time, she has a really good doctor that she thinks would be able to fix it, whose name was Dr. Wigoda, but he's not open until Monday. She, at the time, said she didn't want me to wait that long, so to still go to the hospital, see what they could do, and then try to make an appointment with Dr. Wigoda. But I decided just to wait till Monday and then call his office to make an appointment.
And so, did you see Dr. Wigoda? And if so, what was your experience like?
I did see Dr. Wigoda. The first day was rough. He gave me, news of what he thought happened to my breast. No one's ever done that before. They kept just telling me either I was fine or at the last moment that we were just going to have to take them out and start all over again. So him and his staff, they were caring. I mean, I was crying, my mother was crying, it was a mess, and they were so understanding. And he basically said that he would do whatever he can to fix me and to make me feel any better that I could feel. I mean, I felt horrible. I felt that my life was ending, and he really took me in as his patient and just made my experience wonderful.
And so you've been seeing Dr. Wigoda for a few months, and how would you summarize your visits with him and how he's and his staff have cared for you?
Yeah, I've been seeing him since about the ending of January, and I wouldn't even call it staff. I just feel like they're my family. Like, I see them, I used to see them 3 times a week, now I see them 2 times a week, but it's such a one-on-one personal attention. You don't feel like you're just a number. You feel like you're a person. Like, they really care. Like, they are genuine. They know you by name. I actually have a nickname here. The ladies at the front are just adorable. I just feel like it's family, and they care for you all the time. I went through my ups and downs, and for a surgeon to really want to know how you're doing, not just come in and say this is what we're doing and leave, but to really care, that it was a big turnaround for me. I have not experienced that.